If fear is the only thing stopping us from achieving our dreams, and we only fear what we don't understand, then the antidote to fear is knowledge. All we have to do is find out who has the knowledge that we need to conquer our fears and achieve our entrepreneurial dreams. My name is Callum Walker, and welcome to the podcast that will help you figure it out and conquer this lonely entrepreneurial journey.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the podcast. It's really grey today, really dark, and I must say I do struggle when it is this dark, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is in Portugal, in Portugal. We are going to Portugal in a few weeks. I can't wait. I genuinely can't wait. So I want to talk to you today about something that's going on in my life at the moment, and it's around my content. And if you struggle with content specifically, this might help. Now, I always kind of saw Instagram as a chore. I really saw Instagram as a chore. I was constantly having to think about, like, what would my audience like? What would my audience connect with? What posts gonna hit? What's gonna work? And I would get it done, but my God, was it a grind? Like, I know I just kept coming against this resistance around putting content out there. And I think off the back of that, what started to happen was that the world almost started to reflect that energy, because I saw content as something that I needed to do. I would say that the quality of that content really wasn't that great. And then because of that, naturally, like, my content got punished. And I had a bit of a realization when I was reading Gary Vaynerchuk's book, which was Day Trading Attention, where he spoke about Instagram content specifically, but just content in general. And he really kind of spoke about how most people get the algorithm wrong. They think that this algorithm is a robot, where, yes, okay, they're obviously robots at work. But the algorithm, in terms of deciding whether your content is going to be pushed out in front of people, is actually people. The algorithm is an audience. And effectively, if the algorithm is rejecting your content, what that actually means is that the audience is rejecting your content. And most of the time, that means that your content sucks. Like, I've been there. Like, I've tried to fight against the algorithm. I've put a reel up. I've gone, yeah, that's pretty good. Only for it to be shown in front of 100 people and get no engagement whatsoever. And I've played the blame game and played the, Instagram's just out to get me. What's the point in making all this effort? And then I actually asked myself the question. I said, making all of this effort, like, are you really making this effort? And also, in terms of your effort, where are you actually directing your effort towards? Because if I actually looked at where my effort was being directed, it was being directed in a direction, obviously, being the direction of, I want to create content that will get engagement. Now, it's really interesting, because how do you create content that will get engagement? By creating engaging content. And how do you create engaging content? Well, by creating content that you would engage in. And whenever my profile has really been, like, slow, whenever my content hasn't been hitting, whenever I felt like it's not really working, I've come back to center and I've asked myself a question like, is my profile a profile worth following? Would I actually follow that content? Would I actually consume it? Would I actually share that? Would I actually spend my time, energy, and effort to go to the lengths of actually consuming it? And most of the time, the answer's been no. And I think that the reason why that has been because I've done the opposite of what Rick Rubin said that we need to do when it comes to our content. And if we look at what Rick Rubin says, if you don't know who Rick Rubin is, he is one of the most successful music producers of all time. He's worked with, I think the number of people he's worked with is ridiculous, like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Adele, like just look him up. Now, he wrote a book called The Creative Act, and I've also listened to him on multiple podcasts. And it's amazing what he really kind of shares, where he says that with your content, with your content, he says, I'm not creating it for them, I'm creating it for me. And when I've revisited that properly, I've asked myself the question, I've gone, am I trying to make an impression with my content, or am I using my content as a form of expression? Now, what does that mean? Impression is I'm trying to get a result out of a specific thing. Expression is, here is a truth, here is a lesson, here is something that I find important and I'm going to share it. And he then says you put it out there and leave it. What happens, happens. And again, I'm not a very religious person, but, I have a faith. I'm not really clear on what that faith is. It's kind of almost like a mixture of Buddhism and Stoicism. And even though Stoicism isn't a faith, it's more of a philosophy and code of living. And I would also say that Buddhism is the same. I have a code of living. But I believe that there's something, and I've just referred to it as the gods, like the gods. Just the easiest way for me to kind of connect with it, give it a label. But, I've always kind of said that as long as I do my part, and I control what I can control, I put everything else out there, everything else is in the hands of the gods. And the gods will reward the work that is worth rewarding. And that reward is through sharing it in front of people who need to hear it. So if I almost kind of look at a very clear switch that has happened within me more recently, I have had a huge desire to want to create content. And the desire has not come from, I want to create content to be Instagram famous. The desire has actually come from, my business is in a very good financial place. I've got myself out of survival mode. I'm in a place where financially I can afford to do what I want within my life. Of course, I could definitely do more things, and I definitely would love to do more things, and more money would allow me to do those things. But for the lifestyle that makes me happy, content and healthy, physically, mentally, emotionally, money it's there. And I've been searching for, like a real form of expression. Like I really feel like I have a message, not to share with people, but just something that has hooked me. Like something has hooked me. Like in all of these areas within health and fitness, within philosophy, within personal development, within entrepreneurship, within marketing, within sales, within influence, there's something that has hooked me and there's something that I'm obsessed with. And I'm obsessed with it because I'm obsessed with it, not for any other reason. I can't put a label on it. And if I look at my way that I've used Instagram as a way to get a message out there, I've used it solely through direct response marketing principles, which have been like the sole job is to get the sale. You put content together to get people to interact, to then put their hand up and then get the sale. And that's been very exhausting. It's felt very hollow and ran out of steam. And ran out of steam consistently with that. Whereas if I actually look at where I'm at, the level of creativity that has come to me and the desire to express this creativity has become huge. I've wanted to create content, but I'm not creating content for impressions. I'm creating content because there's things that are making a difference in my psyche, things that are making a difference in my life, my relationships, that I just want to share. And not just that I want to share because I feel other people need to hear it, but I just have a huge desire to just want to share it and express it. It's the same with this podcast episode. I have no idea how many people are going to listen to this. I have no idea how many people are going to interact with it. Like, I have no idea, but I just have a pulsing desire to want to record a podcast episode. Why? Because there's something inside of me that needs to come out. And again, if you look at all of the great kind of like creatives, I've always said that they're just a vessel for creativity to flow through. And I think that is something that I feel I'm experiencing right now. And I think what's really kind of amazing is we went to Harry Potter World yesterday, and the level of detail of just pure artistic expression was incredible. Like, there's literally just a full-on universe and world that has just been completely created and come from somewhere and put into the world. And we went to the Harry Potter studios and we were there for about 3 hours, and both me and Alice were in absolute awe absolute awe of just the level of artistic detail that was within it. It was incredible. And it was very inspiring. So, yeah, my question to you is, are you looking to impress with your content, or are you looking to express? If I almost kind of look at like, a lesson for you, it would be, use your content as a way to just share your message. Like maybe even just try it out for the next 30 days. Forget about putting content together to try and get likes, to try and get engagement, to try and get clients. You just go and share what you feel is important. Go and share what people need to hear. Go and share things that would genuinely help someone, as opposed to try to hook someone. So if there's a mantra that you could take, go and help people instead of hooking people. Because the difference is that people, when you're hooking people, you're going after them. When you're helping people, they're coming towards you. And that's a very, very different relationship that's formed. Never forget, if every one of your clients gave you just one new client, you can double your business.
Have you got a client who isn't losing weight right now and you have absolutely no idea why? And maybe you're worrying that if nothing changes, they could drop off at any moment? Well, I've got a free nutrition masterclass for you where I reveal the secret nutrition strategy that guarantees that stuck client loses 2 to 4 pounds in the next 7 days without lowering their calories, upping their cardio, or even tracking macros. Click the link in the description to get access to the free Elite Nutrition Secrets Masterclass and get your client moving in the right direction, stopping them dropping off today.